Located just north of Sherman, Texas, North Texas Regional Airport, once known as Perrin Field, is not just a hub for general aviation, but a testament to the rich history of military aviation and the thousands of men and women who trained here. The history of this airport goes back to the early days of World War II, and today it stands as a reminder of the sacrifices made by those who helped secure the skies in some of the most pivotal conflicts in U.S. history. Back then, it was more than just an airfield. It was a vital training ground for thousands of airmen. This central water tower is a symbol of Perrin Field during its heyday, a hub of military aviation during the war. Our journey begins at Perrin Air Force Base Museum. This museum is dedicated to preserving the history of the base and the legacy of those who served here. It is a place where artifacts, stories, and memories are carefully preserved, honoring the countless airmen who trained at this very location. Today, I'm here with my good friend Roman Valerino, a private pilot and flight instructor with years of experience in aviation. Roman is not only an expert in flying single and multi-engine aircraft, but also shares a passion for the history of aviation. This guy is going to help me explore the significance of this place and its transformation into the vibrant airport we see today. The roots of this airport date back to 1941, when local leaders in Grayson County saw the potential of this land for a major government project. Initially, they explored the possibility of it being used for a munitions plant. However, after a visit by County Judge Jake J. Loy to Washington, D.C., the idea evolved into a plan for a military training field for the United States Army Air Corps. By March 1941, the plan had transformed into the establishment of a flying training school as part of the Army's rapid expansion during World War II. The base was officially named Perrin Army Airfield, and the construction began in December of that year, shortly after the United States entered the war following the attack on Pearl Harbor. This map from 1963 shows the original layout of the base, a sprawling facility that would soon become home to thousands of military personnel. By the time it was fully operational, Perrin Field was one of the key training sites for pilots, technicians, and ground crew during the war. One man who played a crucial role in preserving the memory of Perrin Field was Brigadier General John M. Elkins, a decorated United States Air Force veteran. He helped establish the Perrin Field Museum and dedicated much of his life to ensuring the legacy of this base, that it was never forgotten. On this stone, we remember that John M. Elkins and his tireless work to preserve the stories of those who trained at Perrin from the earliest days of World War II all the way through the Korean and Vietnam Wars. This base trained pilots who would go on to serve some of the most critical aerial combat missions of the 20th century. Today, North Texas Regional Airport continues to play an important role in aviation, though in a much different capacity during its military days. The tarmac, once filled with Army Air Corps trainees, now serves as a home for numerous private aircrafts, regional pilots, and flying enthusiasts. As we look around, we can see a variety of general aviation planes parked in the hangars, a far cry from the military aircrafts that once filled these very same spaces. Another key feature of this airport is the control tower, standing tall above the tarmac. Just as it did during the base's operational days, this tower helps guide planes safely as they take off and land, a crucial part of any airport, whether it's for military training or civilian use. The control tower at North Texas Regional is a reminder of the many airmen who once relied on it during their training, and the thousands of successful takeoffs and landings that have occurred over the decades. Here we see one of the iconic remnants of Perrin Field's history, what seems to be a 1954 Convair C-131F plane on display outside. Aircraft like these were the backbone of military training at the base, and during the war, Perrin Field trained thousands of young men to fly aircraft that became one of the most primary training models for the Army Air Corps. The legacy of these iconic training aircraft lives in the stories of those who flew them and the missions they undertook. Most days feel routine, but sometimes history unfolds in the most unexpected places. James McCall quotes, "We had all the big shots flying the Perrin for Sam Rayburn's funeral in Bonham, Texas. I ran the dispatch section for that day. We had Kennedy and Air Force One there. We had Harry Truman. We had Eisenhower. That day, we had all those people from the House of Representatives, the Senate. It was a rare day in history that you would have the whole Washington bunched down to one little old place like Perrin in Grayson County and Fannin County." After the quote, James McCall reflects on how rare it was to see so many national leaders gathered in a small Texas town, making the moment feel almost surreal. His recollection shows how even ordinary places can become the backdrop for history, with those behind the scenes playing quiet but an important role. Roman, as a private pilot and flight instructor, what makes him stand out is his deep respect for the history of aviation. Here he is, hauling a plane out onto the tarmac just as countless pilots did decades ago, learning to control these powerful machines. The roar of an engine and the power of a plane taking off is a symbol of the perseverance and dedication that has defined Perrin Field. From its early days as a military training base to its present role as a regional airport, the spirit of flight continues to thrive here. As we watch this plane take flight, we remember that every pilot who took off from Perrin Field, whether in World War II, the Korean War, or Vietnam, was trained right here on this very tarmac.